How's it going, guys? My name's Wilson. The postseason truly separates a good player to an NBA legend who will never be forgotten. It's one thing to be like James Harden in the regular season, but if you can't deliver come playoff time in April, May, and June, you'll never be recognized as a true all-time great. While some of the very best players all time obviously all elevate their level of play and take it to another gear come playoff time when the game's on the line, of course it's easy to mention the obvious. Michael Jordan went from averaging 30 points to 33.4 points a game come postseason time. Many of the reasons why guys like LeBron James never won an MVP past 2013, since he simply saves his best for the playoffs many years, gives way more effort, and while the guys like Kobe Bryant as well on the other hand competes at the highest level, doing anything necessary to win games, these obvious choices won't be included in this video. While Bird and Magic became instant winners immediately after entering the league. With that said, here are 11 NBA legends not named Magic, Michael, Larry, Kobe, and LeBron to elevate their level of style of play in the postseason, becoming even better. Starting with Bill Russell of the Boston Celtics. No accident why he won an all-time best 11 championships, a career 15 and a 22 guy. Come postseason time, Russell's number increased significantly, averaged nearly 19 and 29 in the 10 Game 7 he's played, going 10-0, winning every single matchup, especially when needed most. Bill always delivered. Every time a championship up for grabs, Russell never disappointed, more than capable of scoring more when needed. A 19.32 rebound closeout Game 7 as a rookie over St. Louis. 3 years later, added 22 points, 35 boards, the deciding game, knocking off Bob Pettit again. 2 years later, a memorable 30.40 rebound Game 7 62 finals, played all 53 minutes. Make sure to always have his team's back. 66 Game 7, Red Auerbach's final game as head coach, 25.32 rebound win over the Lakers when running on fumes final season. Rival Will wasn't allowed back in. Russell told reporters in a game like that they would have to carry me out to get me off the floor. Also 3-0 worst Will in the all-time Game 7s, a 16-2 record when facing elimination, had all the winning qualities, a finals award named after him, had finals MVP took place back in 1957. Russell easily would have had more than half a dozen of those. James Worthy of the Los Angeles Lakers. There's a reason his nickname Big Game James stepped up emphatically from just over 17 and 5 regular season time, up his scoring to over 21 points on better percentages. Only had one career triple-double, doing so the most important Game 7 88 finals, adapted well, didn't need the spotlight, used his lightning fast speed, ran out in transition, a dangerous post-game, absolutely showed out. 84 finals, falling to Bird, 22-point average on 64%, following year, nearly 24 a game, finally beating Boston, unstoppable spin moves, outside of that masterful 36, 16, and 10 Game 7. Big Game James put up 28, 9, and 4 Game 6 to start off elimination. The first scoring option many nights between 87 to 91. The 2 games Magic banged up the 89 finals. Worthy scored 26 and even a 40-point Game 4 defeat to the Pistons. Elite level athlete, one of the best finishers, above average defender, truly sacrificed high numbers to have a complimentary role on a dynasty, well-deserved top 50 player named in 97, super unselfish, always went with the flow, the ideal star to pair up with Magic, Showtime match made in heaven. Hakeem Olajuwon of the Houston Rockets. Career regular season averages 22.5 points, over 3 blocks, 51% from the floor, but Dream was always even better in the playoffs, especially the 2 insane title runs. Numbers of over 26.5 points, 3.3 blocks, 53% shooting in 140 playoff games with H-Town. A true superstar since coming into the league, had more success than Jordan in his first 3 years. Led his team to the finals as a 23-year-old, averaged 27 and 12, 3.5 blocks, 2 steals, absolutely turns it up and uses every move in his arsenal, embarrasses his opponents, the 2 title runs, even with a decent supporting cast. Dream beat former MVP Charles Barkley twice, Karl Malone twice, proved he was much better than Pat Ewing and MVP David Robinson, even swept Shaq not once in those 94 and 95 playoffs. Did these 3 all-time great big men ever outscored Hakeem in 17 tries, led his team to glory with the odds against them?
His 47-win Rockets knocked off teams with 60, 59, 62, and 57 wins, all worthy of championship material. Still the only player to win MVP, DPOY, and Finals MVP the same season. An absolute force to be reckoned with on both ends. Video game numbers and other forgotten first-round exits. After Ralph Sampson's body failed him, Dream had no true star but always balled out. His footwork and fundamentals, absolutely a thing of beauty. Reggie Miller of the Indiana Pacers, the clutch shots, only a 5-time All-Star, Hall of Famer due to incredible playoff moments from just 18.5 points regular season to 20.6 points come postseason time. Likely has the third most memorable 90s postseason moments outside of Jordan and Hakeem. Many of his greatest plays happened at the world's most famous arena. Known for lighting up the Knicks, had a 3-2 conference finals lead after going ballistic Game 5, 25 of his 39 in the fourth, drained 6 threes, unheard of at the time, despite never making first or second team. An overshadow in the shooting guard spot playing in MJ's era, a masterful 8-point in 9 seconds, forever be one of the craziest moments in the Garden. Left thousands speechless, a 29-point must-win Game 7 on the road. The tenacity, toughness, and shot making way ahead of his time. Outside of MJ, Reggie likely the second guy you want the ball in his hands to take the final shot in the 90s. The closest team to knocking off Jordan's Bulls in the title years. A pull-up dagger in Memorial Day 98 led his team to the finals at age 35, scored between 25 to 33 points, games 3 to 6, won toe-to-toe with 25-year-old Iverson the following year, nearly upsetted the first place Nets in 02. Having a crazy game-tying banker and a surprising two-hand flush, Reggie always wanted the ball when it mattered most. When others fatigue, Miller rises. The 20 elimination games between 1990 to 02, Miller time averaged 25.5 points, 49% shooting, 42 from deep, the toughest era to score. Even age 39, Malice in the Palace season, no Artest, had back-to-back first-round games, 28 and 33 points against Paul Pierce, 27 points his final game versus the Pistons, one of the toughest defensive teams all time. Reggie could have continued playing a few more years, aged gracefully.
Tim Duncan of the San Antonio Spurs. Regular season from 99 to 07, where he played some of his best basketball, put up 22 and 12, 2.5 blocks. Come playoff time, 24 and 13, nearly 3 rejections. Young Timmy was an absolute beast, unstoppable, especially in the early 2000s.
Got the best of 27-year-old Shaq, swept the Lakers, ending the Forum era for good, put up 29 and 11. Went on to score between 20 to 33 versus New York, his first ever finals, the lowest scoring year since the 50s. Averaging over 27 and 14, a higher points average than regular season scoring champ Allen Iverson. Duncan went on to average over 26 and 15 first 13 games of the 01 postseason before being ran out the gym by the best version of Kobe and Shaq games 3 and 4, put up 29 and 17, the 02 series lost to the Lakers. His best moments came from the famous 03 title run, effectively ended the Kobe-Shaq chances of four-peating, the best postseason defensive anchor in the modern era, averaged over 5 blocks in those finals. Second option, Tony Parker, year 2, averaged under 15 points. Final season of past his prime David Robinson, Duncan went on to hit one of the craziest clutch shots we've seen in 04. San Antonio likely wins that series. Had it not been Derek Fisher's .4 dagger, after the departure of Shaq to the East, Duncan owned the West, slowed the hype of the Nash Amari Suns, scored between 28 to 33, 4 of the 5 games, a 25-point Game 7 versus the 2 Wallaces, left no doubt. Had Duncan retired after the 05 title, would have still been a top 10 player all time. Despite losing 2006 to Dallas in 7, Timmy put up 41 and 15 Game 7, average above 32 for that series. Many remember Parker for winning this 07 Finals MVP, but the real final should have been against Phoenix. Timmy put up nearly 27 and 14, over 4 blocks, still easily the team's best player. Despite losing Game 6 2013 to Miami, 37-year-old put up 30 and 17, a plus 16, even a 24 and 12 Game 7 loss, but bounced back, winning his 5th title the following year, the most blocks all time in postseason history. Many might have seen the 2010s version of San Antonio, but a young Duncan ever since coming to the league up until 2007-ish, one of the best absolute pure playoff scorers and performers night in and night out, a soft touch around the rim, super high IQ, disciplined footwork, a master bank shot. Nobody did it better from the block.
Dirk Nowitzki, Once upon a time viewed like a playoff James Harden before 2011, Dirk shut up all his critics, having one of the most spectacular postseason runs, did the improbable. Career regular season numbers of 20.7 points, 7.5 boards, the 7-footer averaged over 25 a game, 145 playoff games, grabbed 10 rebounds, and never even averaged double-digit boards in any regular seasons.
Polished, unstoppable postgame, his coming out party unofficially ended the Stockton Malone contention era. 33-point Game 3 and 4 win after being down 0-2, finished the 0-1 season having a 42 and 18 Game 5, losing to the better Spurs, destroyed Garnett's Wolves a 3-0 sweep, 33.3 point, nearly 16 rebound average, going 8 of 11 from deep, unguardable when imposing his will, a 29.9 point average round 1, 0-3 playoffs, including a 30.19 rebound Game 7 semis versus the Kings, before hurting his ankle Game 3 conference finals, Dallas right in contention, ousted Duncan Spurs Game 7, a 37 and 15 masterpiece plus the and 1 layup on Bowen, 28 and 13 average beating Phoenix before the 06 finals, even put up over 34 and 11, 54% shooting, 09 Nuggets semis, barely had help. Dirk balled out most nights despite the losses, wasn't his fault, before eliminating tough Portland, Kobe's Lakers, Durant's Thunder and Miami's Big Three, winning the 2011 title, the true definition of perseverance. Rajon Rondo, his legacy most known for playoff Rondo, his first ever postseason year 2, won the title as the starting point guard, amazing defense, great length, 32 minutes as a 22-year-old, in 09 battled it out with D Rose, scored between 19 to 29 points first 5 games, averaged 19.5 points, 11.5 assists, over 9 rebounds, nearly 3 steals, looked like a top 3 point guard out there, a masterpiece, 29, 18, and 13, Game 4 2010 versus Cleveland, even outplayed LeBron last 3 games of that series, dominated Orlando and Jason Williams, the only consistent Celtic throughout 2010 finals, despite falling to Miami 2012, a 44-point Game 2, followed by 21 and 22 points Game 6 and 7 losses, even with the Bulls up 2-0 in 2017 versus the number 1 seed Celtics. Before his injury, his team ended up losing 4 straight without him. Went on to dominate Dame Lillard the following year, 2018, with New Orleans, a master at setting up teammates, super vital for 2020 Lakers off the bench, looked better than Russ Westbrook in Harden few of them games, still having big postseason moments, not bad for somebody who used to be known as a coach killer. Despite not making an all-star team since 2013, super high IQ, intelligent vet, his postseason success should absolutely make him a Hall of Famer. Kawhi Leonard, from winning Finals MVP at 22, the Claw made a name for himself defensively, winning back-to-back DPOY 2015 and 16. Wasn't quite a superstar yet in 14, but put up 20 a game. 2015 Clippers series, was having one of the best 2017 playoff runs before Game 1, the Zaza Pachulia game. The 25-year-old averaged nearly 28 and 8 on over 52% shooting and 47 from deep, even mentioned as the second best player in the game behind LeBron. San Antonio went up as much as 25 before being taken out. The ankle pain haunted the Spurs for years until they got Victor. 2019 versus Toronto, one of the most impressive title runs for a franchise who have never reached the finals, while outplaying Jimmy Butler and Giannis. Kawhi averaged 30.5 points, over 9 boards, the Game 7 game winner. Many went as far as declaring Kawhi the best player in the game after winning the title. Excellent in the bubble, scored at least 29 points each of his first 7 games before having a bad Game 7 to Denver. Outdueling Doncic, came back down 0-2 the following year and 2-3. A 45-point Game 6, Clippers might have won it all if it wasn't for his ACL tear. Leonard averaged above 30 points on over 57% shooting those playoffs. Even 2 games worse, the Suns dropped 38 and 31. Injuries robbed him of even more amazing moments. 51% shooting in 137 postseason games, 40 from 3 from 2014 onwards, nearly a 25-point average. Has a lot of similar moves to an old MJ. 5th highest PER postseason all time, an incredible peak but too short a time. Literally up there with the best of the best when he's ready to ball out. Not an accident he's won 2 Finals MVPs. Jimmy Butler, absolute respect on all levels, has the it factor. The rumors about him being MJ's son might be true after all. 3 conference finals in 4 seasons. With Miami, 2 NBA finals. Overachieved on a team not anticipated to win much, but getting the best of Giannis in 2 playoffs, took a dump over Boston's Tatum and Brown. From 0 40-point regular season games since 2017 to 6 in the last 2 postseasons and counting almost doesn't make sense. The 56 and 42 masterpieces versus Milwaukee made all defensive star Drew Holiday look amateurish. The deeper the series goes, the more Jimmy Bucket shines. The insane 47-point Game 6 2022 almost led his underdog team back to a comeback 35-point Game 7. Of all the greats to never win a title, Butler a case for most deserving. Many thought he might be a one-hit wonder in the bubble, but continues to prove doubters wrong. From 22 to 29 points a game, last 2 years regular season versus playoffs, imposes his will on smaller guys, genius instincts, crashes the glass, anticipates for steals, stupidly locked in, absolutely lives for the big moments, the opposite of James Harden and Ben Simmons. Not the most skilled, not the most athletic or the best shooter, but a strong laser-focused mind makes him one of the best postseason superstars in today's game.
Jamal Murray and Nikola Jokic, absolutely incredible, on verge heading to their first ever NBA Finals. Both their numbers absolutely staggering. The pick and roll game, from averaging under 17 points in the regular season, Murray, who absolutely elevates to over 25 points a game in the playoffs, already has a couple 40-plus point games. That's more 40-point games in the postseason than he's had in his regular season history. My goodness, Jamal Murray absolutely flourishes when the light shines brightest. While his teammate Nikola Jokic, an absolute stud, even better in the playoffs, averages of over 27, 12, and 7. My God, the highest point average by a center in the postseason, currently the highest PER in playoff all-time history, 27.3 point average, higher than his single regular season high of 21.7 points. The double handoffs, IQ, quickness, plus shot making gives the Nuggets the best chance at becoming the next NBA dynasty, on pace to winning its first ever title come 2023.
Murray continues to dominate with the shot making against the elites, 53 in 3 quarters from 4th quarter of Game 2 versus the Lakers, outscoring James and Davis the final frame. The elite shot making simply has the clutch gene. While Jokic, for all the haters questioning his playoff success, how about having the highest point average by a center in the postseason, currently the highest PER in playoffs all time? The 27.3 point average, higher than his regular season high of 27.1 from winning Game 7 versus the Spurs 2019 to having the go-ahead game-winning shot on Gobert, the 3-1 comeback, and exposing Montrezl Harrell bubble Clippers. It's an absolute travesty. People dare criticize Jokic for the lack of postseason success in 2021 and 22 with a banged-up roster. A few of his starters from those series, many have no idea where they at now. Already as many 30, 20, and 10 playoff games as all the other players combined. Unstoppable when aggressive, arguably the best rebounder and passer in today's NBA, makes all his teammates better, always pushes the pace, breathtaking plays, a basketball magician, on verge in becoming an all-time great, especially when he wins his first title. While Jalen Brunson, a legend in the making, looked like a legit superstar each of the last 2 postseasons, makes the Knicks' future hopeful and unbreakable will. Honorable mentions includes Isaiah Thomas of the Bad Boys and Manu Ginobili. Each won multiple titles, has the drive and winning attitude, took over games and stepped up when it mattered most.
Thanks so much for watching this video. Which one of these modern players always surprise you every time they play in the playoffs? Who's your favorite? Of Rondo, Jamal Murray, Jimmy Buckets, Kawhi Leonard, or Nikola Jokic? Why do you think they play so much better come playoff time? Is it just part of their DNA? Is it who they are? Just let me know in the comments below. I love to hear some interesting takes. Once again, thank you so much for supporting my YouTube channel along the way. Longtime subscribers for years. Appreciate you from the bottom of my heart. With the 2023 NBA Finals coming up, I'm going to be doing a live stream reaction after every single game, possibly some giveaways, so stay tuned for that. Love you so much, and I'll see you next time.